Welcome back to the Fundamentals Podcast, where we talk all things related to sports. What's going on?
Man, another week of
Yeah,
sports.
another a good weekend. A good weekend of how about
I
the
know you
Rams?
pumped. No, I was
How
about to
about
say I
the
know you pumped.
Rams? Hey,
Yeah,
listen.
them boys played tough. They played them boys tough yesterday, but we talked about last week.
Talked about it, and look. I know. Everybody was down on the Rams. They felt like, they got on a little streak, and all that. Hey, look. Now, I will say this, right? What Chris Shula did, our Rams defensive coordinator, what he did was took the blueprint of what Detroit did, right? Send the
Mm-hmm.
blitzes, the different packages, put the pressure on Sam Darnold. Now, real quick, first before I dive into that, let me be clear. Let me make this: the Rams were not able to play in LA, so they played in Arizona, right? First of all, I want to say kudos. Like, like my feelings about the Cardinals have obviously they're a rival, so we still want to beat the Arizona Cardinals every year. But the way that they welcomed the Rams to use their field, had everything set up, got the paint brought in,
Mm-hmm.
to paint the field. The locker rooms were set up so that, for even brought in, how like you have the gift shops, the gear with all the team gear and all that. The Cardinals little store even had LA Rams stuff in there. So kudos to them. Kudos to the community. Kudos to the organization. They let the Rams use their planes, their buses, made sure all the families got there. And so that was super dope. So first, I just want that like the fans appreciate it. I know the fans more than just me appreciate it because I see it on Twitter from other
Mm-hmm.
Rams fans. It's greatly appreciated by the
Oh
Rams
yeah,
organization,
they
and
did they
yeah,
they did their thing. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? They did their thing.
yeah,
You know,
and so
that was pretty dope. That was pretty
yeah,
dope. They did their
yeah,
thing. You
yeah.
know, they
So
just
that was
buttered y'all
special.
up a little bit. So
Yeah, that was special. That was
so
special.
next year y'all can take it lightly on them.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
I ain't gonna pay
Now,
it forward. Okay.
not with no wins. Not we giving up no wins. Not that fashion. Now let's we'll start with NFL and then we'll get into some college, the games last week, and kind of break those down and what's coming. But let's start with the game last night. The Rams won in convincing fashion. Sam Darnold was under pressure all night. And I'm going to tell you what, I see a lot of people, they say that Sam Darnold was the issue, like putting the blame on him. Man, you got to look at that offensive line.
Yeah.
That offensive
They
line
gave
was
up nine
trash.
sacks.
Yeah, 9
They
sacks,
gave up
tied
9 sacks.
the
I
NFL
mean,
playoff record in
what
the
are you
game.
supposed to do when you constantly getting pressure?
Yeah, and
You
nobody,
gotta.
like I told people, if you look at it, because a lot of people was like he was holding the ball too long. Those were coverage sacks. We did a great
Yeah.
job in coverage last
They
night.
doubled Jefferson for the
Yeah,
most part with the safety over the top. You know what I'm saying? So you double Jefferson. You know the other receivers got to make a name for themselves. They couldn't really get open. So you're getting a lot of coverage sacks out there. And plus on top of that, when you're not able to run the football to open up
stop the run. Yep.
to you know what I'm saying. So y'all played fully complete defensive game,
Yeah,
and y'all had a
across the
good game
board.
plan.
Yep.
That you know the hats off to the Rams. They just had a game plan and they executed perfectly. I
Yeah.
mean, that offensive line didn't execute, even though he really didn't have it. He had a couple of shots downfield, but when you getting coverage shots,
Yeah.
what can you
What do you?
do? By the time he's ready to throw the ball, somebody's in his face. So I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And across the board, I saw immediately how important the starters taking that week off was, right? Like you could see that
mm,
that Stafford had a little bit more spunk with his throws and with his movement in the pocket. You saw that play where he had the high IQ to pass the ball while he was getting sacked, so that it was an incomplete pass instead
yeah,
of being
yeah.
sacked. Now what are your views on that play? Be
Not too
honest.
much. No, honestly, to be honest, this is the part where I don't like those type of those type of plays right there, because to me it looks like you fumble.
But you saw him toss it,
You see him, toss it, but
and he tossed it in the vicinity of a receiver.
I think that's risky. To be honest with you, I think it's very risky because you're letting go of the football. So that easily could have been a actual fumble if one person hits your hand the right way or whatever, or you get ready to flick it, but you accidentally just drop it. But see, this is
It
where
wasn't.
we know it wasn't. But I ain't gonna give him that. You know what I'm saying? I know you trying to give him that.
High
No,
IQ,
that's
man.
too risky. That's
High
too
IQ.
risky to me. Because at the end of the day, you could sit there and say, well, but it wasn't. But at the same time, what if the receiver wasn't there? That could have been one of those, that could have been intentional
Intentional
grounding
ground.
penalty. Or, like I said, what if you get hit the right way on the going down trying to make a play? That's where you get a lot of quarterbacks get messed up with trying to make an extra play. Yeah, he made one. That was great. But I'm looking at it from a standpoint of don't risk that. Don't risk
Okay,
that.
so here's what I have to say about it. I think he knew. I think he was very clear of his surroundings. I think he had the IQ and wherewithal to understand that all I have to do is flick my hand forward, and I'm passing it to
See,
Puka.
and that's the other. Not to cut you off real quick. That's the other problem that I have with things like that, because technically speaking, that's a pitch. That's not even a pass.
It's
When people
going
pitch,
forward. The rule book
yeah,
doesn't
but
say
when you're
nothing about
throwing it
pitch.
like this, that's a pitch. You know what I'm saying? That's like a shovel
Shovel.
pass. I understand the shovel
That's a
pass
pass.
and all that stuff. We want to give him all the. I'm not giving him that though. I'm not giving him all this whole
You got
awareness
to.
and credit. You
You have
don't
to.
got to. It's too
You know
risky of
why
a
you have
play.
to?
Don't do
You
it.
know
Don't
you
do
know
it
why you
because
have
if
to?
one.
Because as soon as he did it, he looked at the ref and was like, he knew what he did. Like he knew exactly what he was doing. Now,
That's all well and good. Don't
here's
do it
the
on my
thing.
team.
Here's the thing with the
Okay.
intentional. Here's the thing with the intentional grounding. You know why they wouldn't have been able to call intentional grounding?
Because Watchcom was in the vicinity.
Well, no, even if he wasn't there, because they called it a fumble and the play was reversed, and you can't call the penalty on a reversal. So it would have just been either way. It
So
would have
you would have
been
just got it by semantics of the situation. Yeah,
bingo.
man, that's already crap. That's
That's
already gonna
that.
make me be
That's
like,
just
that's gonna
that's what
already
that.
make me be like, that's one of them plays that we talk about to where they should be able to go to the replay, and if it is a penalty on that play, they should be able to call the penalty
That
because
ain't a
that's
rule
bull.
yet, though.
I know that.
It don't
We
apply
understand
yet.
that it's not a rule yet, but that's one of them
Adrian, you
things
don't
that's gonna
like it.
make me do it. Because no, I don't like seeing that. I don't like seeing it. It's already bad enough the tuck rule exists, which is the stupidest rule ever in football. Because if a quarterback's coming with his hand forward and you're coming back down and you just happen to drop or lose the
Nobody
ball,
calls the tuck rule
that's a
anymore.
yes, they do. They do call that. They do. It don't look the same as what Tom Brady did, but they
Because Tom
do
Brady,
call it.
because that wasn't the
Because
time. What Tom
we
Brady
ain't
did was
never
a
when we
fumble.
seen him do it, it was always known as a fumble. Nobody's ever heard of a tuck
Nobody's.
rule.
Yeah, it was a fumble.
Nowadays, when you see quarterbacks, if their hand is just going forward and then they get ready to come back to reload, but their hand's going forward and they drop the ball, they'll call that a tuck rule. So it's an incomplete pass. Your hand was already in the motion going forward and you drop it. To me, if you don't have, I mean, with Stafford, he clearly had intentions on throwing it. So okay, give him that. But like when you see that rule being called, anytime a quarterback's going forward, and if you was to just lose the ball, drop the ball, that's a fumble. You didn't intentionally, you weren't intentionally trying to pass it. You were trying to reload and you drop it. That's a fumble, but they'll call an incomplete pass because his arm was going forward. I
I know.
hate that rule.
I
And this whole sideways throw, it's almost like me. I'm gonna tell you like this: lucky I ain't in the NFL making rules up, because if it's not a natural throwing motion, I'm calling it a fumble. It's got to be like in the NBA. If it's not your natural shooting form, they don't call it a foul. You can't.
Yeah.
It's not a shooting foul when it's
It's
not your
not a
natural
shooting-
form.
yeah.
It's not a shooting foul. If that is not your natural, and if it's an underhand or doing anything, shovel, this and that stuff, it's not a natural throwing motion. If your arm
Right.
is not in a natural throwing motion, that
It
would have
ain't
been
it.
my change. That's a fumble because that's getting. There's already too many rules that quarterbacks can use to escape a lot of situations.
Yeah.
So to me, that's bogus because if you just last moment, oh, I'm getting sacked and I'm just gonna throw one of these, but your arm ain't went into an actual throwing motion.
Yeah.
To me, it looked like a pitch.
Fair enough.
But hey, what the rules say? Hey, give him credit. Awareness is awareness. Hey, he got the awareness to it. But don't do it on my team. I'm cussing you out on the sideline. I'm telling you that right now. You come to the sideline, boy. You lucky the rules saved you because I'm in you. Because I looked at
Yeah.
that play yesterday and I was like, dang, Stafford, really? I know Big Will hot. And then
Yeah.
after they showed the incomplete pass, I was like, yeah, he got saved on that one.
Yeah.
They
Hey,
saved him on that one.
hey. At first I was, but when I saw Stafford motioning like, no, I was throwing it, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
then when they showed the replay, I was like, oh, he good.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
of
but
course.
yeah,
But that
but
would be me. If your arm is not in a natural throwing motion, then I'm
yeah,
considering it a pitch. So therefore, you would have fumbled.
yeah,
Hey, you can call me a hard butt, whatever you want to call me, but it
yeah,
ain't because I hate the Rams. It wouldn't have mattered who did it.
yeah.
Unless, of course, it's the 49ers. I mean,
Now, well, then the rules don't apply no
But
more.
actually, to be fair, as a football player, I'd have been cussing out Brock Purdy for doing it too. So, I
Yeah,
mean, tell you the honest truth,
yeah,
just that's how I do. That would have been a fumble to me. That's
yeah,
the rules. If you're not in a natural motion, bro, don't be doing that because I don't like that extra stuff quarterbacks be trying to do to get away with it.
yeah,
Like I can understand if you getting tackled and then his arm was to go in some motion and he slung or whatever like that.
yeah.
I would. But this whole I could do this underhand pitch stuff like that and you call it a pass? Nah, get out of here, man.
do
The defense is
do
already hindered so much. That's BS.
do
But
you
this
think
no.
that the game was called? Because I saw a lot of people say the game wasn't called evenly. In my opinion, I didn't really
For
see.
who though?
I
Because at
well,
the end of the game, I do remember them saying y'all had like 88, 9 penalties for like 80 yards,
you
100
are,
yards
yeah,
versus their two. Two
yeah.
for 10,
Well,
two for
yeah,
20.
but they were saying that there should have been more. I saw some Minnesota people say there should have been more stuff called on the Rams. I mean, I don't
There
know
should have
what
been
else
some
you
stuff called on Minnesota too, because I seen a couple of
exactly.
face masks they got away with.
Yeah, I was just like, I mean, I even wasn't tripping when on the punt. Remember the punter? They called
Mm-hmm.
roughing the punter, roughing the kicker. I wasn't even
Yeah.
tripping on that because I'm like, well, somebody threw him into the kicker. But if that's what y'all want to rock with, that's cool. You know what I mean? I
It
wasn't
was
tripping
more of a
on it.
running into the kicker than a roughing the kicker because
It
he was flailing
he was
backwards on his
it,
backs.
back. Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
when you are turned around and you landing on your back, there's no way in the world you was intentionally trying to hurt the kicker. You
Bingo.
definitely was falling by somebody knocking you over.
Over it.
So it's more to me, it's more running into the
Running
kicker
into the
than it is
kicker. That's what
roughing.
I thought should have been called. Running in. I'm not saying
Yeah,
it ain't a penalty, but
but
running
yeah,
into the kicker,
different
yeah,
type
I
of penalty should have been called, but it
called.
is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. I was like, all right, cool. Even the one on I don't know if you who was that on our center, and the whistle hadn't blown that time. I think I want to say it might have been Puka Nacua called it. I'm not sure who called it. I can't remember, but the whistle wasn't blown. Our center makes a block. They called unnecessary roughness because they blew the whistle right after the block. Like, I mean,
I
you
think
could
I
go
saw
back
that
and
one.
listen. Yeah,
Yeah, I
you can
think I
go
saw
back
that
and
play.
listen
Yeah.
to it. Whistle hadn't been blown yet. Like, but they called it whatever. You know what I mean? But like you're gonna have some of those. You just gotta battle through them. Like,
See, this is the biggest problem though. Is like you see how people when you're on a losing team, you always talk about how the other team should have had more penalties called on them, or it's always something about more penalties being called. But let them have called all these penalties, then people will be talking about they're ruining the game, the ref ain't letting them play, all these
bingo.
other things. It's like nah, man, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't want to see now. I want to see the obvious ones be called. That's
yeah.
where it is
But some of
because,
these
like they
little
say,
ones that don't even make a
hmm,
difference, like
yeah,
like
but
like
like
very nitpitty stuff.
you nitpicking and stuff like that, and picking and choose what should be. Nah, mm-mm. If you're gonna
Yeah,
call them, call them. Call the right ones, the obvious ones. Because I could
yeah,
sit here and be like, you seen when Kyron Williams, when he got it, the dude grabbed his face mask, they missed that.
yeah,
Nobody
yeah,
want to talk about that, right? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, the blatant ones, get them right. That's all
Yeah,
I ask. Just
yeah, yeah.
get the ones that are obvious right. Because you always know, that, to be honest, there probably is a penalty on every single play in football.
Exactly.
There's a
Exactly.
penalty in every play. Like they say, you can call holding on every play,
Play. Yep.
defense or offensive.
Yeah.
You can call holding. You can call illegal contact downfield. All these things you can call all the time. You
Yep.
wouldn't be watching football. What's the point of watching the
Yeah.
game, watching the refs just work? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Either way, I thought it was fairly called. It was a couple ones where I was like, "Ah, that's petty," but at the same time, I was like, like given how blatant and bad some of them been, like some of the things that I've seen with Kansas City, and I hate to bring them up, but some of the things that I've seen with and guess who's refing their game this weekend? The same referee that they were 6-0 with this year. Yeah.
Guess
You
oh,
know,
that's great.
every time he
I
does
mean, they
their
playing the
game, they're
Tex.
6.
Yeah, they playing the Texans though, so hopefully the Texans can get right. But
If
yeah,
I'm hopeful that we see the Texans that we just saw this last weekend.
we see. Yeah, I want to see that Texas team. I want to see
Yeah,
them Texans play, and I hope they play like we saw them play this weekend, plus better. You
yeah,
feel me?
yeah.
So yeah, but
Who do you got? Who do you got between Buffalo and? Well, I think you're gonna pick Baltimore. But
yes, I am.
what did you think after watching the Buffalo Denver game? Because I'm gonna be honest with you. In my
Wasn't
opinion, it was just it was kind of what Buffalo was supposed to do. Now, I'm
yeah,
going to tell you
facts.
what. I hate the narrative that Allen is playing with nobody. Don't tell me that when I'm watching their running back have 16 touchdowns this year.
Yeah, Cook's been cooking this year.
Yeah,
Cook's
don't
been cooking.
don't tell me that when I'm watching James Cook with 16, 17 touchdowns this year and 1100 yards. Don't tell me that he's playing with nobody.
And then you got Amari Cooper back there.
Then you got Amari Cooper. Stop telling me that he's playing with nobody when I'm watching him play with people.
Yeah, he started out the season where you didn't know what they were about. You didn't
About
know what
yeah,
they were gonna be about, and he's really changed his game a lot and hasn't turned the ball over a lot. So I
he
give
just
him
makes
credit
better
where credit is
decisions
due.
this year. And look,
Yeah,
this is not.
but he had
I'm
to.
not. He had to, and I'm not. I'm not saying he's not good. He is really good. He's top 3 in the league, right?
Yeah,
He's like legitimately top 3 in the league.
yeah,
I
literally.
just stop painting the narrative that he's doing this with nothing.
It's easy for them to do that because when you comparison to other people, then you could say, yeah, he is playing with nothing. Like when you compare him to what Lamar Jackson has, compare him to who KC has on their side, the big names. You know what I'm saying? He don't have a big name. Like Cook is becoming a big household name to me. He's starting to
James
really
Cook.
really show his skills. Yeah, Cook. So Cook is starting to become that. You know what I'm saying? And now he got Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper. He's one of them B tier receivers. He ain't in the A tier, or you could say the A tier. He's you know what I'm saying. He
Yeah.
ain't
A
he
A
ain't
B A B
yeah,
honor
yeah,
roll.
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. He ain't straight A student, but he A honor roll. You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
but he's a good player. He's a good solid player. They got a good solid tight end. They have a nice running back. And then you got Josh Allen. Josh Allen, yes, he is the superstar of the team, but he had to play a different game because he don't have the superstar weapons out there. So you have to play different. You know what I'm saying? And you have to show that you can at least try to make your team better some way. And he has done that.
Hmm.
But when you got a running back and you have a running game, it makes it easier for you to do
Yeah,
things.
absolutely.
It makes
Just
it
like
easier. It's just what it
it's
is.
like having Henry has made it easier for Lamar.
Yep. Yep. How you think a lot of times when you talked about like success of like the teams like the Niners. We've had a really good running game that's made it easier for our quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? When you look at Philadelphia, they make it easier for Jalen Hurts. Well, they used to make it easier for Jalen Hurts because what they do now too, because they got a really good running game.
Running
You
game.
could
Yeah,
rely on
that
Saquon
matters.
Barkley. So it's like when you look at Detroit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got some elite receivers out there, but that
They
running
have
game,
a
that
good running
tandem
game,
they
but
got is
yeah, the
crazy.
tandem, the two-headed monster they got back there is yeah,
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? When you have a great running game, you can end up creating a good offensive profile. So
yeah,
I mean, it ain't like Cincinnati where they have a subpar type. You know, they ain't got no extreme name run. They don't got no Joe Mixon back there or
back
anything
there no
anymore.
more. Yeah,
So 90% of your plays are pass plays,
pass
and then you
plays.
still
Yeah,
throwing out, but you see where they at. You know,
yeah.
so this narrative of that he don't have nobody, I see what people are trying to say, but at the same time, they did go get Amari Cooper, so he is a good receiver. They got a good running back. They have a decent tight end. They they,
Mm-hmm.
they have weapons. Just Josh Allen is the superstar, so you
Right.
see him more. You know what I'm saying? It's just like when you talked about Lamar Jackson last year. You know, you got a Zay Flowers, you got your Andrews, who are great weapons for him, but he had a real solid running game last year. They
Yeah,
ran by committee last year.
yeah.
But the superstar was Lamar Jackson. This year,
Jackson.
he's not he don't have to be the superstar, even though he still is, but you got Derrick Henry back there. So it
Right.
looks a lot different.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, nah. They got talent on that squad. And if it
Yeah.
ain't just them, it's that line, that offensive line is pretty good. I mean, they got a solid offensive line. That's why he's able to do the things that he can do. You know, so
The offensive line needed some work early in the season, but
hmm
it figured it
it's
out.
gotten
Well,
better.
the same as the defense. You gotta
And the
remember
defense,
that
that's the
first
other side.
yeah, that first 6, 7 weeks, that defense was looking suspect. They were like
Yeah,
bottom of
really,
the league, you know.
really.
But
Then they
it's
got it
it's
together.
they got it together and it has
And when
shaped
you
up.
looked at that game on the playoff game against
Hmm.
Denver, that defense stepped up.
Yeah. Yeah.
After that little first big play that they got, they shut down Denver. Pretty
Yeah.
much the rest of the
Yeah,
game, it was a wrap.
yeah, it was a wrap after that. Yeah.
So
Definitely.
it made it easier for Josh Allen to move, and then after a while they just started clicking as the game progressed on. But that defense
Yeah.
was holding up
Yeah.
all game long. They couldn't do nothing on offense for Denver. After
No.
that first
Yeah.
little drive, they couldn't do anything. So
And
you know,
that's going to be a good matchup this weekend.
yes,
Baltimore
it
and
is.
Buffalo, that's going to be a good matchup. I want to see Baltimore win, but that's going to be a great matchup.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think, I
And
think,
Baltimore's another one whose defense then cranked
yeah,
up.
yeah.
So
I think, I think in the AFC, like it's still, you have, the reason I say you have three teams on that side that can win, or that it looks like that can win. Like they're kind of counting Houston out, but I don't want to count Houston out. I believe Houston can go in there and possibly beat Kansas City. But also at the same time, I believe we could see the magic that Kansas City has. I guess we'll call it magic that they have
mm,
had this year, right?
you know, that white and black magic they got.
Yeah, the zebra magic.
The
We're gonna
zebra
call it the
magic,
zebra
yeah.
magic.
Yeah.
Or, we don't know what could happen between Buffalo and Baltimore. Like
It's a
Baltimore has
fact.
beat Buffalo already, but
That's a
Buffalo
fact.
is a different team now. But so is Baltimore a different team.
Yep.
So like with the AFC, it's really hard. Like it's really hard because I see people saying, "Well, whoever wins the Baltimore Buffalo game, whoever wins that one, right? Because they don't know who's gonna
Hmm.
win, right?"
Right.
With the NFC, I know the favorite right now. The favorite is Detroit in the NFC. I will say this: don't be so quick to pick Detroit. Also, don't count my Rams out, right? And the reason I say that is because I know how Philly looked against the Rams regular season. It was bad. It was ugly, right? And
Hmm.
that was an ugly game for us. McVay is so like his wherewithal and understanding of how to make an adjustment based on what happened. The prior to, because you gotta remember how we looked against Arizona the first game of the year. Like
Mm-hmm.
people thought, oh yeah, like gosh, the Rams might as well tank now, right? But
Yeah, you
but
even
then
said that it was over for y'all.
but look how the growth, and look what McVay was able to do, and look how so I all of these games, like any given well, it's playoffs,
Any
any
given Sunday.
given Saturday, Sunday, like I think all of these games are going to be competitive. The only game that I just Washington Commanders against Detroit, I'm picking Detroit in that, because while Washington has looked really good, I just think this is a different level. And I would say this, I would say that if Tampa Bay had beat Washington, Tampa Bay has a better chance against Detroit than Washington has against Detroit, in my
I don't
opinion.
believe that. Yeah, I don't believe that.
You don't?
I don't believe that at
Talk to me.
all.
Talk to me.
Well, I mean, just looking at how Washington has played, and we all understand, yeah, they got a rookie quarterback and all but Washington plays a very well-rounded game. They are very difficult to stop. Jaden Daniels is doing something different for like you're in awe of with the way he's playing, like he's a 5-year vet in the
Hmm.
league or something. But I think that I personally felt like like last week, I personally felt like Washington was gonna get by Tampa Bay. I just think
Wasn't
that
an easy game though.
they
Wasn't an easy
no,
game.
it's not gonna be an easy game. Just like when they come out and they play the Rams, it ain't gonna be an easy game. But they can match speed for speed. They can play very very fast. They can also play pretty physical on offense when they want to. Jaden Daniels gives you a different element that you got to worry about that you don't really have to worry about with Baker Mayfield. You know what I'm saying? Something different about a mobile quarterback that, as you've seen what he did, he was
Yeah.
able to get it on his own. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? When he needs to get it on his own, he can do that. He can create. It's like Lamar Jackson dealing with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have a different element, so it's a different thing that you got to worry about when you're dealing with somebody that has a true mobile quarterback, but he's not just a running quarterback. Because
Yeah.
if you
He's
slip up,
accurate.
he's
Yeah, he can
killing you
throw.
deep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
He
he
could kill
can.
you. And they
Yeah.
got some good receivers out there. McLaurin is pretty good. They got a decent running back in the backfield.
Yeah.
They can give you problems. And when it comes to, I mean, you've seen what Detroit's one of those teams that with all the injuries they typically get, that has been on their defense, but they're one of them teams that they kind of crank up in the second half on you. But some
Yeah.
teams you can't be like that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Washington is one of
Agreed.
those teams that I don't believe that you can come out there slouching in the first half and then think you just gonna get it and just get into your game in your bag and next thing you know it's over with. You know what I'm saying? You can catch up with them. You know what I'm saying? But you look at Detroit. Yeah, we watched them play Minnesota, but we seen what Minnesota was all about. You know what I'm saying? We knew what they
Yeah.
would. We seen the Rams beat Minnesota earlier in the year. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, yeah, we see a 14-3 record, but you forgot. Some people forget the Rams were one of the ones that put a L on their record.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm
That's true.
saying?
Yeah.
And then when you look at Detroit, it's kind of like, well, can your defense withstand this type of offense that can be thrown at you? You seen if it wasn't for a couple of mishaps when they played us,
Yeah.
we ain't been a real good team all
Team.
year. You know what I'm saying? But that first half, we were giving them all kinds of problems. Yeah, we couldn't stop them defensively, but offensively, if we didn't make a couple of mistakes that we ended up making, the missed field goal, the thrown in INT, it came down to one of those games to where the first person to turn the ball over was going
It's
to lose.
gonna.
And that's how
Yeah.
we were.
Yeah.
But we were giving them work. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And we doing that with third string running back,
Yeah. That's true.
one wide receiver, a rookie wide receiver, because Pearsall probably had his best game all year against them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So if you eliminate turnovers and they can't get that, they're going to be in trouble. they're gonna be in trouble because they don't seem to be able. They don't have a defense that playing against good teams. They don't have a defense that's shown that has been dominant. You know what I'm saying? And I mean,
On a consistent basis.
except on a consistent basis, because what they did to the Vikings is a different thing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But
I think
you also got to have a team that can actually run the football, and I think that when you have somebody that does like Jaden Daniels that can run, they got a running back that can actually run. They can get into the running game if they need to, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as people want to make it seem. I think it's going to be really difficult for them to go and just beat Washington.
Got you.
Most people are looking at it and they're like, "Oh, this is one-sided." Washington plays hard. They play hard all game long. So it's going to be a
they
work.
do. I'll tell you what, they definitely fight to the end. That is a
Yes.
fact.
Yes. And it's
Hey
hard to beat a
man,
team that don't stop. That
I
don't
can't
quit.
I can't argue with you on that, man. I can't argue with you on that. I'm looking forward to a great weekend of games. What game are you? Well, no, I think I know that the game you're looking forward to most is the Baltimore Buffalo game.
Baltimore, Buffalo, and then I would say Philly and the Rams.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
That
For
would be my
me,
second game.
Philly and right, but those are the two for me. Those are the ones I'm looking forward to see. Let me ask you this, man. Is it time to start? Here's the thing. I don't want to call Herbert overrated, but it's why do we not give him the same? Because with Lamar, it was like, oh yeah, but he can't win in the playoffs after like year three, right? But he can't win in the playoffs, right? And we had the conversation where it took Peyton 6+ years to
Mm-hmm.
to 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 get over that hump, right?
Mm-hmm.
But with Justin Herbert, we've seen the same things, but he doesn't quite get the same, I don't know, baggage that Lamar gets. Obviously Lamar
I
is
mean, ain't nobody gonna get what Lamar gets.
yeah, because Lamar is a
Nobody in the
different
NFL gets what
caliber
Lamar
quarterback,
gets.
right?
Yeah,
Well, I'm saying he's going to be a 3-time MVP.
that's how I feel,
Yeah,
but I
he's
doubt
going to
it.
be 3-time MVP, and obviously Herbert's not an MVP, but Herbert
Mm-hmm.
does get a lot of praise, and I haven't
He's always got that. He's
always
always
from
he's
from from
always
the
got a
word
lot of
go.
praise. Now I will say he has
And he's
great
good. I don't
mechanics.
take
He's a
anything. I
great
don't take
he's a good
anything away from
quarterback.
him.
He's definitely a
Yeah.
good quarterback. I think a lot of things they give him a lot of passes on is just the fact that for one, when he started in the league, he came out pretty hot. You know what I'm saying? You could see that he has the skill sets. He has the cachet. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So, he looks good.
Right.
And then barring injuries, he's done had plenty of injuries that's kind of hindered him a little bit. But I don't know why they don't give him. I don't know why most quarterbacks. Let's just say this: if you're a mobile quarterback, Jaden Daniels is probably the only one right now that is a mobile quarterback that doesn't get the flack. But he's a rookie. You know what I'm saying? Give it a year, see what he does next year. Then when he's can he do? Then it's gonna be can he?
Yep.
So it's like
The same way they're doing
it
CJ
seems.
Stroud.
Yeah. So they're looking at C.J. Stroud's year two. Then they going, is this a bust year season? I mean, people get their game planning on you. You gotta,
Yeah.
But I don't know why they do that though. I don't know why that some quarterbacks just get all this grace while other quarterbacks get a lot of flack for how they are. Lamar Jackson is the one that's getting the most right now. I
Yeah.
guess it's because he's the one the MVP, and now they want to see him take it to the next level. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's the accolade part. But Lamar Jackson, since he came in the league, they've been criticizing
Yeah.
him.
Yep.
So I guess they don't
I
look
mean,
see him as a quarterback.
they
But when
they
he's
well
starting to,
right. That's the problem though. They didn't think he would. I read an article yesterday and there said some of the owners, or I think it was some of the GMs and owners, are going back and looking at the scouting reports on Lamar Jackson and wondering what was the problem, why scouts were down on him. I mean, we heard what the media said. I sat back and listened to all these people that sit on national television every day that give Lamar Jackson say he's good and all of that. These are the
Mm-hmm.
same ones I sat and listened to say he's gonna be a terrible NFL quarterback.
See,
I literally look.
and
Here's the
it's
thing.
crazy.
I'm just one of them people. I will just say I'm wrong. I'm not gonna go the next week and say because I, I was wrong on many accounts this year on things that I believed, right? And period, was just wrong on that. Whatever. I hate I'm gonna bash this person and then 2 weeks later pretend like I never did it,
Yeah, yeah,
and
they
then
do that
just
a lot.
yeah, they do that
Do
a
that a
lot.
lot. Mm-hmm.
Like I was up on Russell Wilson. I still don't think still don't think it's all the way Russell Wilson's fault this season. I think
It's not.
he had a great month and a half, but let's be for real. The pieces around him aren't that great. I mean,
That's just
look,
true.
why is nobody TJ Watt has been considered one of the great defenders over the last 4 years. Why is nobody talking about how his stat column looked like the other night? Zeros across the board. You didn't have a tackle, a pressure, a tackle for loss, a sack, none of that. You supposed to be the top defender on the team.
But they ain't gonna do that though. They ain't gonna do that.
But why?
We already know. We already know because we
Hey,
already know
JJ Watt,
the
why you
only.
not talking about why your brother had zeros? Because when he has a good game, you're all over
Of course,
praising it.
that's how it
But then
is.
he has a bad game, you don't say nothing, you quiet.
But the only reason why they don't do that is because there's only one position in the whole entire NFL that gets the biggest criticism and it gets the biggest praise, and that's the
Quarterback.
quarterback position.
Yeah.
Your team lose, it don't matter if you played well or not. If your team loses, it's gonna fall on your shoulders as the quarterback. It doesn't matter if the defense look like trash. We've been saying that about some of the stuff that Lamar Jackson's gone through. His defenses look like trash, but guess what? They lost. Guess who gets the blame? Lamar Jackson.
Jackson.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so we don't look at other positions in the same light as, you know, the quarterback position. The quarterback gets all the praise or they get all the blame. If you win, it's all you. Like Tom Brady. He's a big culprit of it. You know what I'm saying? How many Super Bowls has Tom Brady won himself? Their defense has always been stout.
Yeah.
They've had come up with second stops. Now I will give him credit. He's had moments where he's then marched downfield, got him in kick field goal range,
Range.
and the
Yeah.
kickers has made the kicks. Do we
Yeah.
praise the kickers as much as we praise Tom Brady for getting in that position? And he's had one of the greatest kickers in NFL history.
You're absolutely correct.
So it's like we always give the quarterback more than what everybody is. It's either you're going to get more criticism or you're going to get more praise. Now, we can come out there and if a receiver drops a ball or whatever, then a lot of people give excuses. That depends on who you are too. Well, if such and such wouldn't have dropped this pass, then X, Y, and Z would have been.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can't blame the quarterback for this. Well, we know that. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter about everybody else. If your defense plays like trash and you still can't get it done on offense, it's going to fall back on the quarterback. They don't look at the defensive individual numbers and all that other
You know
stuff and
what's
get impact.
interesting though? That usually does apply for most quarterbacks. But do you remember when the Rams beat Josh Allen?
Mm-hmm.
I say we beat Josh Allen because he was the one that had all the touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
When the Rams beat the
Yeah.
Bills, but
Mm-hmm.
beat Josh Allen, right?
He didn't get none of that.
He didn't get none of that. Matter of fact, nobody even talked about the Rams beating Buffalo. All
Nope.
they talked about was how
Was
well
how
Josh
good
Allen
he
played.
played. Yep.
That's all they didn't talk
Yep.
about them losing. They didn't talk about the
Yep.
Rams winning. They
Now
just talked about how well Josh
let
Allen
it
played.
have been Lamar Jackson that played y'all and y'all beat them. They would have
Can't
been
win
saying
critical
how
games. That's what they would have said.
all the time.
you
All the
know, you
time,
know.
bro. All the time. I don't really want to say what it really is, because we know
Yeah,
what it
yeah.
really is.
We know what it
But
is.
all the time, bro.
Yeah.
It's like that all the time. He gets the most criticism in the NFL as far as a quarterback. Out of all quarterbacks, Jalen
Yeah.
Hurts don't get the same criticism.
Nope.
Jaden Daniels, he's a rookie, so they're not going to give it to him. The only
Mm-mm.
person that probably gets as much criticism as Lamar Jackson is Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Now his is warranted. He plays for the Cowboys. Who cares?
Speaking of the Cowboys, Mike McCarthy, what are your thoughts?
I don't have.
They fired. Hey,
Hey,
look,
what am I supposed to do? What are we supposed to? I seen it coming.
I
I
did
mean,
too.
yeah, I
I
seen
just
it
hope
coming. And
please,
it is
Dion,
what it
don't
is.
go
I
coach there,
hope
man.
Dion don't do it
Don't go there,
because, like
man.
I told you
Please.
yesterday,
Yeah.
the biggest thing that I wouldn't have minded Dion being in the NFL as a coach. It is what it is. You know, we know he likes Dallas. He loves Dallas and all that other stuff. If you want
I've
to be
just
an
heard
NFL
him too
coach,
many times say he wasn't.
say I'm not interested in it. I don't
Yeah.
want to be an NFL coach. He's loved it in Colorado. He loves raising up men and all these are all
Yeah.
the things that you say.
Yeah.
So if you go to the NFL and he has said that only way he'll go to the NFL is if he's able to coach Shador and Shiloh
Right.
on the same team.
Team. Yeah.
So if you go to the NFL and you're able to do this with them two, to me, you just failed. You just failed everybody else because you just blatantly told everybody you wasn't interested in the NFL.
Yeah.
Now it just looks like, oh, you just only want to coach your sons,
Your sons. Yeah.
and
Which we know that's why he got into coaching.
and that's great. You know what I'm saying? Hey, don't have
But
no problem with that, but just don't tell the world you're not
yeah.
interested in coaching in the NFL, and then all of a sudden you want to coach in the NFL because you're
Yeah.
just say like you should have just said in the very beginning, I will coach in the NFL if I'm able to coach my kids.
Yeah.
That's the only way I'll be able to, and I can coach them on the same team. I still would be like, that's kind of lame, but at the same time, hey, you want
Yeah.
to coach your kids, you want to coach your
Like,
kids. It is what it is.
please stay in Colorado.
That's what I'm saying. Just stay in college, bro. Just stay there. You know, do what you're supposed to do. It just looks bad, and you already
Yeah.
know he receives so much criticism as it is, so that looks
Yeah.
even worse. It's gonna look
Worse.
even worse on your resume, you know. And somebody, I can't think of where I seen it, but another person brought this up, and I was watching a video, and they were talking about what Dion said. And the thing about it is, like, I don't know if it was Ryan Clark or it might have been Cam Newton that was talking about it or something like that. But the problem is, it's gonna come down to if Dion coaches in the NFL and he coaches Shador and Shiloh. That's the only coach they've ever dealt with coming up. So it was like the question will be, can they be coached outside of
Somebody
their
else.
dad?
Yeah.
Or can Dion actually be a coach
Without them.
outside of his children?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You coaching men. Now you're coaching grown men, not
Yeah.
up and coming. You got to coach grown men.
Men,
So
right.
can you really coach grown men, or are you just only able to coach your sons and try to get them
Yeah.
acclimated to everything? Or can Shador and Shiloh actually be coached by anybody else other
I
than
think
you?
Shador, I think both of them can be coached by other coaches. I do wonder if Dion can coach men because grown, like I'm talking about these NFL players, like you have a player that might be on your, roster that's like how Andrew Whitworth was older than McVay when
Mm-hmm.
is older than, but can you do that? Because when you look at Dion, he's into pouring to young men that are becoming
Exactly.
men. But how do you pour into men that are already men? Like, what can you tell them? How can you coach them?
Mm-hmm.
I think his sons can be coached by other people, but I question, can he coach other people?
Yeah.
And maybe that ain't fair for me to do, but it is a question that I
It's a
have.
question out there. It's a question
Um,
out there. But it also, but to see the other one, like you were saying, the other thing that I think about is like, can your sons be coached by anybody else? Can they learn a different system than the system that you have played them in? You see what I'm saying? That other thing right there.
I think
Like
Shador can.
I think they can,
Mhm.
but we not seen it yet. So it poses the question, can they? Because they've always been under Dion's coaching. his offensive repertoire or defense or whatever it is. So I think he probably could. It might not really be a question, but it is just out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, if you don't have your
absolutely.
dad around, can you really work it? And Dion, like you said, with them, I think Dion has the respect of a lot of people. So, because of your status as a Hall of Fame player, so I think, even the older generations of men will give you a grace over anything because you got the respect.
Yeah,
But it's a question. It's a question. Can you coach on the NFL level?
yeah. I mean, it's one of the things I think, like you said, and like I've said, but not only the part about going, you said you weren't interested
Mm-hmm.
unless it's coaching your sons. But let's say you go, right? Let's say you go to coach in the NFL, right? Let's say 3 years you don't like it, you don't want to coach no more, or whatever. My thing is, like, I feel like he should at least fulfill his contract with Colorado. And this is why I say that. You
I
got
agree.
these, it would be different if at the beginning of the year you said, there's a possibility I might not be here at the end of the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're going out and recruiting people. You've gone, you got Sap there with you, you've gone
Yep.
out and got people, whatever, whatever, right? You're recruiting them, and then right after the season, well, it's like the rumor mill says, hey, he's talked to Jerry Jones,
Mm-hmm.
and they both enjoyed talking to each other, and the story about you possibly going to go coach the Dallas Cowboys is out there. I personally, now here's the thing: if it's not Dion, I believe it's going to be Kellen Moore.
Makes
Personally,
sense. Makes
if
sense.
it's not Dion, because I think it was, I want to say it might have been Dan Orlowski or it could have been Ryan Clark. I'm not sure. But they brought up a very good point. Whoever goes to coach Dallas has to be okay with Jerry Jones's system,
Yep.
right? You can't go, if a coach that wants to build a brand within his team can't have the owner involved, right?
Yep.
I think it was, matter of fact, it was Jeff. What's his name? Jeff Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
It was him because he was talking about playing for the Colts, and he was talking about ownership made it clear. Dungy is your coach. You won't see me for the rest of the year unless you need something, but you could go through the proper change. You talk to Dungy first because that's the
Yeah.
coach.
That's how
So
it should be.
the coach builds the culture. Jerry Jones wants it to be his culture. So whatever coach goes in there has to be okay with, I'm not building a culture. We're under Jerry Jones's infrastructure.
Yep. Because that's why he got rid of Jimmy Johnson.
Right. Period. Period. That's what it comes down to. Jerry Jones was like, nah, this is my infrastructure. Right?
Yep. Got rid of Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
Got rid.
You win under the constructs of what I say, not
Yep.
what you know what I mean? And that's what you know what I mean? And so that's
And
where
I
I'm
believe
like,
that's why. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's why I think it'll be Kellen Moore because he's been there. He
Mm-hmm.
understands Jerry Jones's culture setting ways. And I think that he would be, not to say anything, not in a negative way, but he would be a coach that I think would be okay with that. He just wants to do his X's and O's under the thumb, basically,
Yeah.
Jerry Jones.
And I didn't even think about it, but yeah, Kellen Moore would probably be a good fit for their vacancy spot. I mean, he already knows the culture of Dallas, so it's just like, and most of those players have already played, under his offensive when he was offensive coordinator. So
Coordinator,
I
right?
think Kellen Moore would be actually a good fit for them. I don't really see anybody else that's gonna fit that role. That's why I didn't see Belichick even being a candidate for them, because Belichick is, you stay up there in GM spot. I got the
Yeah,
locker room. This is
yeah.
my locker room.
This is
You
my
know what I'm
life.
saying? So he would have butt heads with him just like Bill Parcells. When he had Bill Parcells, you gonna butt heads with them because their locker room is gonna be their locker room.
Their locker room.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? That's why he won't be able to get people like let's just say hypothetically, Rex Ryan wanted to come back to coaching. Dallas would
Yeah.
be a good spot for Rex Ryan because
Mm-hmm.
Rex Ryan builds a
Is
culture under how he likes. That's why
likes
he's a player's
exactly.
coach because a
Exactly.
lot of players love to be under Rex Ryan and coaching, and it's going to be his team.
Yeah.
He don't care about the upper office. He just whatever he wants to do down here. I'm the coach. You the GM or owner. You need to be up in that press box. You don't need to be on
Mm-hmm.
this field with us. So yeah, and I think that's kind of that's why I really don't see Deion Sanders being a good fit there. Even though
Yeah, me
Deion loves Jerry Jones,
Jones, I just
but
don't
Deion
see.
is just one
Yeah.
of those people that likes to have his culture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You could tell by the way that he talks to in all of the teams he's done coached in college, the way that he presents himself, Deion is going to try to get his people. You gonna be in his way, his rules. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I don't really see that being a good fit. I think Kellen Moore will probably be better fit for it.
Yeah. Yeah. And when we look at all the coaching vacancies out there right now, because what we got? We got New England,
They got I think they gave
Vegas.
Vrabel.
Did they already give him a contract? I know they
I think
interviewed
that
him.
he's supposed to be one of the top contracts. I thought they did. I thought he did get hired. I don't
I have
know.
to go
They
look.
probably
I have to go
didn't.
look at it.
Mike Vrabel.
Vegas is available. Okay. Dallas is available, and I know Pittsburgh is keeping Tomlin, which they
I
should,
mean, ain't
because
no point. What's the point of him getting moving?
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing too. Like some of these people got to understand. Like I think Pittsburgh Steelers fans are like super. I don't know. It's weird because y'all are mad about making the playoffs with dumpster juice teams. Like the roster, y'all don't have a quarterback, but y'all are still able to make the playoffs. Like you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like appreciate that. You know how hard it is to make
Mm-hmm.
the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you could be Cleveland.
For real. Like bad.
Yeah,
When's the last time Cleveland actually? Man, let's not even start on that franchise. But
yeah.
yeah, Mike Vrabel's their coach now.
Okay, okay. That's a good pickup for them. He fits the culture.
I think they did Gerard Mayo pretty wrong though.
Yeah,
Don't give him
he
a
was
contract and you only give him one season.
yeah.
Don't do that.
On
Don't do that.
with a rookie quarterback
What
and
a terrible team. They
with a
didn't just a rookie
terrible team.
quarterback. They
Yeah.
had a
And
terrible team.
he actually, in my opinion, he
They played
overachieved
competitive.
with that team.
Yeah, because they were competitive in a lot of games.
Yeah, he
But
overachieved with
that
that team, in
roster
my opinion.
is garbage, bro. That
Yeah.
roster is hot, sour,
Yes. Trash.
boot, butt cheeks.
Trash.
Yeah,
Trash.
yeah.
Hey, so who you got for the national championship, man?
I want to see. I just want to see.
Notre Dame.
I want to see Notre Dame win it.
Me too.
I want to see
Me
Notre
too.
Dame win it. Hey, let's just go ahead and go with the underdogs. I'm pretty sure they're underdog.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that Ohio State and Texas game? I want to hear your thoughts first before I make my rant.
They should have put in Manning.
Thank you. Exactly. I think everybody feels that way. I think everybody.
Now they
Here's the
did they
deal.
did get a couple of BS no calls on Ohio State with some of them holding on the receivers in the
Yeah,
I'm gonna let you
they
rant
did.
on that, but yeah, yours he sold the bag on that one. But
Yeah, yeah. Look, here's the deal, man. Like, let's be honest.
go ahead. Show
If
right now.
people want, I've gotten a little bit of criticism about my views on yours from some people, but for the most part, people agree with me. Here's the thing. You remember when he came back from injury, and I recall telling you, yeah, they need to put Manning back in. I even put it on Facebook. I got the receipts. People can go back and check. They need to put, Manning back in. He gives you the best chance to win throughout the year. I've said that. I've continued to say that even when they win. Even when they played Arizona State, and people were like, well, he was very composed in that game, even in a big moment. He kept his composure. I'm gonna slice it for people. There's a difference between not losing the game and having the composure and
Hmm.
going out and taking and winning a game.
Yep.
Manning will go out there, take over the game, and win it for you, right? Ewers is
Yes.
not that guy. You know how many times I saw lanes for him to take off and run? Get it with your legs. He did it. He did it what, twice in
Yeah.
that Ohio State game, right? I
Yeah.
think it was twice he did it in that Ohio State game.
He like
And
did it
he's like,
once or something like that in against Arizona State too.
exactly.
But yeah.
Manning, ain't nobody open. There's a lane.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going. I'm getting it.
Yeah.
Right?
Game
Just
changers versus game managers.
game changers versus game managers. And I felt like Quentin Ewers, I've felt like for the last 5 weeks that Texas needs the game changer and not a game manager. Especially with the way that Sark calls the games, right?
Mm-hmm.
That whatever that sweep was at the end of the game, that was a terrible play call. That was such a
Let's not
bad
even
play
start
call.
on that, bro.
Like, really? You're right there on the one, and you do that? Such a bad play call. I have no idea what was going on with that play.
I'm trying to figure out when do we like my thing is this, bro. Like you're on the one. If anything, if you don't get your butt up under that center and have him quarterback
QB
sneak
sneak,
that mug into the dang end
QB
zone,
sneak,
why is that such a hard thing for people to do?
dude.
To
I
even
don't
think
know.
about. Only team in college professional that listens and understands Philadelphia.
Yep,
The Eagles.
yep.
Goal
Every
line.
time,
Okay. We gonna get up.
every
Just
time.
get behind them big boys and push.
Yep,
It's
every
the
time.
easiest. It's probably one of the hardest plays to stop
Yep,
for 1 yard.
yep.
Is a quarterback sneak. It's one of the hardest plays to stop. You know, and it's just like, yeah, I understand you sometimes want to give it to the fullback, but trickery plays and all that other stuff, man, stop that, man. Get up behind. Texas has a big line.
They do.
They're built
They
for
one of the bigger
running
lines.
football, bro. They're built for running that football.
Yeah,
I don't care what you do. Get behind them. Get 1 yard. That game would have changed completely. Momentum if you would have scored to tie the ball game up.
instead it was.
Y'all were only down by 7 points.
Yep. Instead it was a turnover, and they went down. They went back and scored
On the turnover. That's the
on the
craziest
turnover.
part. On
Yep,
the
went
turnover.
and scored.
Took it to the dang house. I was sitting there, I was like, and at that moment in time, I didn't see the play. At the moment in time, I was doing something else, so I was following it on the whatchamacallit, and I said, "Oh, Texas is on the 1 yard line." I mean, I seen the
Yeah,
play afterwards.
yeah,
So they on the one. Oh snap, we about to get in here and get in this end zone. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Then I wondered, how the heck did the score go 28-14?
yeah, yeah.
What just happened there? Did they get the ball, stop you on 4th down and get the ball back and then hit a big play? No. They took the
Turnover.
play all the way to the end zone. I said, Lord, boy. To me, that's a bad play call. That's a bad play call. That's on start. That's on start. You know what I'm
Sarkisian.
saying?
Yeah,
It's on him.
some
You know, but
Sarkisian. I
but
agree.
I will say though, I think it's. I have a feeling that they were just trying to give Quentin Ewers the rest of his year for Texas because they know they're going with Manning next year.
Yeah.
And I mean, they don't have much choice but to. But they,
Your stock was
it,
going to drop either way.
yeah, he's been looking subpar the last few weeks. He
Yeah,
hasn't
his
been
stock
looking great.
definitely.
He has not been looking great. Ever since he came back from that injury, he has not been the same person. So I don't know whether it's just something changed, and I mean I understand the injury, but the mentality seems to have changed
Yeah,
because he's never been a he's never been a bad quarterback. He's always given us some of the best chances to win games. You know, he
yeah.
has a
In
nice
the past,
arm.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? He has a nice arm. He can sling that rock around and he makes some good decisions, but there's a
yeah,
lot of times he makes bad decisions. You know, so and then after he got that injury, I think he just lost a whole bunch of confidence in whatever reason, and he just needed to be. It was time to be benched. It was
yeah.
time to be benched.
I agree. I agree. I am happy.
Mm-mm.
I am happy for Notre Dame.
I'm kind of hurt for the. Did you hear the Penn State quarterback after they Once he threw that, when they was talking about that interception he threw at the end of the game, he said he was actually trying to throw the ball away.
I didn't see him say it. Yeah.
I think I seen something where he was saying that he was trying to
He's trying
throw
to
the
throw it
ball, or
away.
somebody was saying that he was trying to throw the ball away, and that's what ended up happening.
Here's the thing. When you look at the stats, 0 receivers had any receptions. 0. He threw it to the tight end all night.
That means that they were blanketing them boys out there.
Well, Penn State's not much for passing anyway.
They never really have been. Yeah, they never really been a big juggernaut passing team.
Always run, man. Always run.
It
What do
was
you
a
think
good
about?
game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
It was a good game.
What do you think about Beck? Ain't he going to Miami?
Beck?
He leaving Georgia and going to Miami.
Hmm.
I guess he said I'm gonna.
That's what you want to do. I mean, it's probably time for you to just go ahead and enter yourself into the draft. But all right,
Think so?
it is what it is.
You know what? You know why they not so
He
quick to hit that
probably
draft anymore? Because they making money in college.
Oh, of course. And so
Decent
it ain't really worried about it like that. But at the
Yeah.
same time, I mean, hey, if he could return to look like the Carson Beck that played at Georgia the years prior to this year,
Yeah.
hey, Miami got something.
Miami
if he
got
looks
something.
like the Carson Beck that played this year,
Mm-hmm.
that much. They didn't
Yeah.
get much. They downgraded from Cam Ward, so
Yeah.
if they got that back
Depending
from
on
this
what.
year,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
downgraded from Cam Ward. But hey, you know what I'm saying? He probably that more power to him. He got a position open over there. So
Yeah. I think that with all the money that you remember when players went to a school because it was like they had a certain kind of loyalty to the school. That's kind of gone. I mean, people are gonna, and
prestige.
I can't blame the people for taking the money. Like, hey, if the school says how much they're giving you $3 million, I'll give you 5. Okay, I'm probably gonna take the 5. Given it depends on the circumstances, right? But for the most part, most of these players are going for the money.
And I'm gonna tell you this: this is
Money and playing time.
Bro, this is the problem that I have with NILs. Like, I'm all right with college players getting money, getting paid.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
I'm cool with it. But the problem I'm having with it is the amount of money that they are getting. Because now it's really changing. Like, when I thought about college players making money, like back in the days and stuff like that, when you hear things that you got suspended because you autographed a couple of shirts or merchandising, you making money off of your name.
Yeah, exactly.
That thought process to me was allow them to make money off their name. They're college students.
And
if they're going to sign jerseys and doing these things, you're making money off of their names. Let them be able to sign a jersey, make money off their name, however they're going to do it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, the whole getting mad loads of money and cars and all this stuff coming out of high school to get bribed because you got you had the boosters doing all these things and stuff like that. That kind of was like, okay, that's a little much. But I mean, to some degree, I can understand some ways that they try to sway students.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
and it's always been a thing.
Yeah, it's always been a thing. I would have been all right with them allowing them to be able to accept these type of gifts, make money off your name by, if you sign an autographs or you go into events and you make a little thousands here and thousands there. But for a college student to be making literally NFL money just to go to another school, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That part right there is where I'm kind of like, this needs to be reworked somewhere, because I understand there ain't no incentives to go to the NFL, but there ain't no loyalty amongst your school anymore. So like, I can go anywhere I want to. I play this season here. I don't like the way the coach. Oh, they're gonna offer me 3.5 million or whatever. It's like, and then it also takes away the reasoning for going into the NFL. You give a college student 3.5 million, he's thinking, I'm set for life. What I need to go to the NFL for?
Yeah, I'm gonna be a super duper senior. I'm gonna keep
You know what I'm saying?
staying.
Hey, what am I getting? You know what I'm saying? I can make my family make sure we straight for a while. I may still have to get a job somewhere. I mean, sure, but
Yeah,
it's just like changes so much. It's a double edged sword. Like I
yeah.
love the fact that it evens the playing field, but I hate the fact that these boys are getting X amount of money to go to a school. It's almost like you're a free agent going to, and it makes the NFL, the professional league, seem obsolete.
Yeah, in a sense, but
In a sense, I mean, yeah, you can get
I
longer contracts and stuff,
yeah,
but
I agree with that. In terms of the amount of money, look,
it's
like
crazy, bro.
let's just be real. Some of these players was getting some buku money under the table either way.
I mean, yeah, we knew that.
What's
We knew
what's that
that.
what's that boy name that played for A&M and got I can't remember his name. I cannot remember his
I
name.
probably don't remember either. More than likely, I don't
I'm
remember.
having a brain fart. They just had a documentary on Netflix that I watched on. I can't remember his name for nothing to save my life. I'm drawing a blank on it. But anyway, even he was making way more than that off of signing stuff. And all
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, his whole thing was when you watch his story, he was like, "Oh yeah, just people thought my parents were rich, so we just drove with that narrative, and I just kept making money under the table." You know what I mean? Like I just he was making upwards of 20 million. You know what I mean? Like
I mean,
and
hey, if you,
and that's this before all of
but
that.
I'm just telling you this way. If you can get it on your own like that, there's nothing wrong with that. To me, that's how I feel. If you signing memorabilia, signing autographs and stuff, and it's selling, and you making money off of that, you got your hustle doing. I'm cool with that. Hey, they're using your name to make millions. You're using your own name, and you going out and you're making millions using your name.
it gets it gets sketchy though. I think what it is that gets sketchy. And the reason I say that gets sketchy, like we can look at the Maurice Claret thing, right? And we can
Mm-hmm.
look at the all these because things get grimy because then it turns into a business and we know how the business world underworld can be, right? You can even go back and look at the OJ Simpson situation where he went to jail for going back to take his stuff, right? That
Mm-hmm.
was auctioned off, right? Like it's his things that were auctioned off that he went to go get. You know what I mean? You know things in that world because then you deal with underworld bosses sometimes, and then people want a piece.
Mm-hmm. I
Like
mean, yeah,
at
you're
least
going to.
this way it's structured. It's publicly known this school is giving this person Wendy's is letting this person be in the commercial and this is what is it's like a
That's
public
fine.
so it's a little bit more
Yeah, I'm just
control.
saying that's cool. That's fine. I just think the amount is crazy, but we already know they've been doing it. It is publicly controlled, but
Yeah.
I just never felt like a person should be penalized if I was to actually make money off of my name. The school's
Yeah,
gonna
I
do it.
agree. I
So it's
agree.
like back in those days, I'm like, hell, if I want to sign some autographs and somebody decides to sell a jersey because they signed, I got money for sign. Hey, I'll pay you X amount of Z if you do this and that. Okay,
Yeah.
well, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Somewhere it's hard, but somewhere some regulation needs to happen because man, that's crazy
Like a
amount of
cap.
money that they
Almost like
throwing.
a cap.
Like yeah, like a cap. If you're gonna be able to send like a school can only have a certain amount because not all schools have this same type of budget
That's true.
to be able to offer a kid that much money.
It is the double-edged sword because we
So it
see
it
that
makes it yeah. Then you start looking at other kids that be at the school. I mean, this mug's out here, he's on a football scholarship and he's getting 3 point something $1 million because they gave him a scholarship to go to school, plus they paid him extra money. And here I am, a regular student. I'm gonna feel some type of way. You know what I'm saying? Hey, where my money at, bro?
mm,
Just because he playing football, he get, and then you gon'
yeah, that's
you
the
know what I'm saying?
football just brings in the
Hey,
money.
football, basketball
Football,
gets it too. So I
basketball
mean,
too.
it's just
Yeah.
like I mean,
Basketball, football, they bring in the money.
I would have liked it. I would have liked it to where I would have for paying student athletes in general.
Yeah.
I think what they should have did was allow for student athletes to actually just get paid by the school because most of these schools get a lot of money based upon
like a salary.
their yeah, like a little salary, like something like that, like a little stipend or salary or something. Give them this stuff so that it is regulated. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm making millions as a school. Like, even with coaches, bro. Like, Saban was getting paid three some point, get millions to coach college students.
Yeah.
In a professional level, okay, you coaching professionals, but you on a college level coaching college students, you ain't really doing nothing else besides being a coach. You getting paid more than a professor that got to see these mugs every single day doing. It's just somewhere. It's like I've just would have liked it for it to been set up for a balance, and then yeah, if a student can get money by doing an endorsement by going to McDonald's, or if McDonald's comes to your school and say, "Hey, look, we want
Or
him in a
the video
commercial."
game,
Yeah,
NCAA
or
video game.
yeah,
Yeah.
and hey, we want them in this game right here, because even then they had to structure it a certain way that, of course, there's no way in the world they're gonna be able to pay the thousands of college athletes to be in this one video game, or over 10,000 college student athletes to be in a video game. There's
Yeah.
no way in the world we're gonna pay each and every one of y'all some different salary. So it's
Yeah.
a flat level. This is what you get paid
Mm-hmm.
to be in this game. You either want to be in it or you don't. If you don't want to be in it, well, you're gonna be a generic character with a number that ain't you. So, but you know what I'm saying? It would have just been nice to see it it would be nice to see them try to find some way to bring it back. Now, just like with like NFL players, NBA players, endorsement deals is a whole different story. Because
Yeah.
that's a company coming to get you to
Yeah.
endorse their company. So if you're
Right.
making money off of that, that's one thing. But if you're making money off of the school, a school literally should be able to put a cap, because there's going to be everybody on that same team.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody's getting this money that you done got. It can
It's
create problems there, but hey,
you know,
I'm just happy they do get it, but it is what it is.
the thing with endorsement deals, obviously things have changed over the
Mm-hmm.
the last 20 years. Especially Jordan said this years ago. He said, in terms of endorsement deals, you used to have to prove something to get an endorsement.
Yes.
Now these players are getting endorsements before they step foot on a court.
Bro, LeBron had $1 million Nike endorsement deal, and he didn't even step foot on the NBA court.
Yeah, and it's gonna sound like I'm hating, right? But then you get the ones that like that's why I always question the Zion Williams. Well, you're not he suspended a game for being late to the team flight. You worried about being in DMs on X or Twitter
Yeah.
and chasing tail
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and getting a big old tattoo on your back.
Mm-hmm.
You're like,
Hey,
focus on the game.
for
This
real,
is the
but
minute that this you how you on time for that stuff, but you late to.
it's so much money out here they don't care. Remember when I sent you that video with Jordan was speaking about that, and he was
Yeah,
saying that they used to have to earn their
their
contracts.
contracts. Yeah,
Now they don't have to earn it like that anymore. They're just getting thrown because it's based upon potential. You potentially could be something,
you could. Yeah,
but you ain't
you
proved
could,
yourself yet.
but you haven't shown it. So show
Yeah.
it first.
Yes. Yes. And it just makes it look like we regular average Joes. Let us be late to work.
I can't.
Yeah, because we
You
don't get
can't.
paid.
We
You know what
don't
I'm
get.
saying? We
Yeah.
ain't getting paid for that day. Hey, you gonna get that's a let's go ahead. Well, that's one
Yep.
what you call it on your
Yeah.
record. That's
On
one
your record.
point
Yep.
or whatever. You
Whatever.
get too
However they
many of
split it.
those. Hey, look,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to let you go.
Three and
They be
out.
doing this junk all the time. Like, this is a job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Be
It's a
professional.
job.
It's a
Be
job. You
professional.
should have to. I have to go to work and earn my keep. You should
Yeah.
have to go to work to earn your keep.
Yep.
Be on time. Don't
Yep.
be late. Don't do this. We understand y'all got millions of dollars. Y'all getting paid millions to play a kids game. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we grew up
Something that
wanting to
we
play
love.
stuff like this. Something like play this on the playground, but y'all getting paid millions for it.
Yeah.
You know, I work a 9 to 5. It might seem like we hate, but no, but it's real talk. You work a
This,
9 to
yeah,
5, you know what I'm saying? You got rules and regulations you have to abide by.
abide by.
That
Yep.
should be the same thing with them. That's why I like when they put certain structures and contracts that, hey, look, you need to do X, Y, and Z because you got to be a professional. You're
Yeah.
grown.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it should be penalties when you don't do right.
When you don't do it, that's right. That's right. I agree
Man,
with you, man.
it's crazy.
Totally
We
agree.
in the wrong profession, bro.
We are
We need to
definitely in
be
the wrong
athletes.
profession. I think we are definitely in the wrong profession. I do think that the society has changed, and I believe in change, and I believe
Yeah,
in, I understand with change there's growth, there's learning
it should
things, da
be.
da da. But
Yeah,
there's certain things where it's like
it shouldn't change.
at some point we got to understand that some of these a lot of these players were doing a disservice because we're actually doing a disservice to ourselves because yes, I understand that these athletes are in a sense are entertainers. They're
They
athletes.
are.
They do it for the fans. They're
Mm-hmm.
entertaining us. But
Well, they used to
I
do it for the
want
fans. Some
I
of them don't.
well, some of them don't. But I want to see the passion in the game. I want to see the love. Like I Magic loved this. Bird
Yeah,
loved this. Isaiah loved it. You know what I
Kobe,
mean? Like Jerry Rice loved it. You know what I
work.
mean? Like
Your
Dan
works.
Marino loved it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like he put in the work to like, the ultimate pro. And you do have some of those. But then you
Yes.
just have I
But they
think we
starting to
have
become few and
way
far between.
right, we have way more of the ones that are I'm just doing this.
Mm-hmm. Like a lot of people used to, when you looked at people that were hungry to get into the league, that hunger was because they wanted to get out of a struggle in life.
Yeah,
And this is what I love to do, so I'm gonna get paid for what I love to do. It's like an artist, the
yeah,
whole starving artist. But a starving artist is a legit thing because they don't make a lot, but
yeah,
oftentimes that hunger and drive keeps them pushing to go and create magnificent stuff, and they
yeah.
get paid for that.
Right.
Nowadays, it's almost like it's just so much like it seems like they're so lazy because the money is just getting thrown left and right, and it's just like I don't have to play hard. That's why when I
Yeah.
keep hearing these folks saying that this generation of basketball players, I think it's more in if I was to break down sports, it's more basketball than it is football because I really do believe football a lot more players are actually going out there to actually earn a check. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah. I
Because you
agree with
got
that.
52 to 55 players on one thing and it's easy to get your butt cut.
Yeah. Oh
And you
yeah, I
have to
agree
go
with
out
that.
there and earn it.
Yeah.
Basketball, not so much because you see so much this whole nowadays talented, bigger, faster, stronger. You used to hear that whole type of thing, but it's just like
Yeah.
bigger, faster, stronger. Oh, that's well and good. They got more talent. No, they got rules that cater to the talent that they have
Yeah.
this year, this
Right.
day and age. But the thing about it is the fact that where's the hard workers?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's where the appreciation came in. Like
Yeah.
I appreciate somebody that's why I love the players like Jimmy Butler. That a lot of people don't like Jimmy Butler, but
I
Jimmy
love
Butler
it.
is one of those ones that's like it's no bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is
Absolutely.
what we do. I came here for a reason. I'm here to win. Yeah, I love the game. The game is fun. I want to play. I want the game to be fun and entertaining, but at the end of the day, I'm here to win. Where's that at?
That's that's why I love KD. Kevin Durant's
Yeah.
like, if I could
Oh, he
marry
just love
basketball, I
play.
would.
Bruh, he just love
I love
basketball.
playing. I
He will
love
play
playing.
he'll play a professional game and then when it's over with, he's out there at Rutgers Park or whatever, just
Yeah. He
hooping.
loves
Like
the
he's a
game.
hooper.
Yeah. He's a
You don't
hooper.
get a lot of people like that. Like you don't. They like to be, and it's okay to be jokey. It's okay to be jovial, have fun, do all the things that you want to do. You making the money, live your life. But at the same time, when you're on that court, you need to be treating it as a job because you are living a dream that most people can't even live, and you are given an opportunity, once in a lifetime opportunity, because we already
Opportunity.
know
Yep.
once you screw it up, it's gone
It's gone. Yep.
and it could be gone in a heartbeat. That's why I like people like Zion. You
Mm-hmm.
know, hey, focus, bruh. That's why people got on like Ja Morant. He was doing his thing on his thing. You
Yeah,
getting on
you
him.
get
Focus, bro.
off the court antics. I mean, yeah, you got friends, and I know y'all hanging out, and you gotta, but focus,
Yeah,
focus on the
focus.
game. Yeah,
Because you're the one that's making you're the one that got you to where you're at.
yeah,
Off of what your skill set was.
bingo.
Perfect your craft. Get that bag. That's why people like
Yep,
Steph Curry are getting record breaking numbers, but we know he ain't slacking on the game.
on the
I
game.
will
He's constantly shooting.
is constantly working, working, and working. So that's just and that's I think that's where most of the game is lost at. The love and the passion is not the same. They love the money, they don't love the game. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? And that's where we're at.
That's where we at with it. Well, man, as always, I appreciate you chopping it up with me, man.
Yes, sir.
Another fun episode, and hopefully this weekend we will have a great slate of games. We'll be back next Tuesday.
Hmm. Oh, we gotta figure out what we're gonna do another live stream before the season over. Is it we thinking Super Bowl
Or are we
or are we
thinking
thinking
not Eastern Conference,
the NFC Championship,
NFC
AFC
champ,
Championship, one of those
yeah.
games?
We're thinking one of those. We could do it for one of those. That's what I'm thinking for one of those. So,
That could be arranged. That'll work.
all right, sounds good. All right, man. I'll see you, man. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Oh, we need to do another. Y'all must forgot. We keep forgetting.
We got y'all. We got y'all. Maybe we got y'all.
Yes, sir. All
But
right, man.
everybody that listened to the podcast, thank you. Everybody that watched, thank you. And
Appreciate it.
y'all have a good one. Peace.
Peace.